Uh-oh, do I sense trouble in paradise? If paradise was an authoritarian hellscape overseen by two rivaling narcissists with inferiority complexes.
Your AI, EO, just hours after you made that big Stargate announcement, Elon Musk tweeted that they don't actually have the money. Is that true?
I don't know if they do, but, they're putting up the money. The government's not putting up anything. They're putting up money. They're very rich people, so I hope they do. And Elon doesn't like one of those people. So,
well, it appears that President Donald Trump and his oligarch right hand are at odds after Trump praised UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, striking the complete opposite tone of his billionaire ally Elon Musk, who has called for the British leader's ouster. Speaking to reporters on board Air Force One over the weekend, Trump said the Prime Minister was, quote, doing a very good job and that the two have a, quote, very good relationship, which, as I mentioned, is in stark contrast to his advisor and self-proclaimed, quote, first buddy, Elon Musk, who has blasted Starmer as he attempts to flex his economic muscle, influencing elections outside the US.
I'm prepared to call out this for what it is. We've seen this playbook many times, whipping up of intimidation and threats of violence, hoping that the media will amplify it. Now, Jess Phillips does not need me or anybody else to speak on her behalf. But when the poison of the far right leads to serious threats to Jess Phillips and others, then in my book, a line has been crossed. I enjoy the cut and thrust of politics, the robust debate that we must have, but that's got to be based on facts and truth, not on lies. Not on those who are so desperate for attention that they're prepared to debase themselves and their country.
But certain nations are doing everything possible to stop that from happening because, well, they don't think it's okay that a billionaire can spend $250 million to influence an election. Imagine that.
If you don't like it, you can always take your Nazi salutes and your masculine energy and go back home. To Musk, Zuckerberg and company. In Europe, we have a market of millions of users that provide money to your companies. But we also love protecting our citizens and democracies by making laws. If you don't like it, you can always take your Nazi salutes and your masculine energy and go back home. Viva Europa, hoy más que nunca.
Yesterday, we witnessed the inauguration of a man whose ideology embodies everything the EU was founded to reject. The EU cannot just stand for our values when it is easy. It matters most when it comes at a cost. And standing up to Trump will come with a cost, but is much less than the cost of letting this poison win. And I am done with the niceties from EU leaders that Trump, while his tech bro buddies call for our laws to be undermined. I am done with the Taoiseach of Ireland, with our historic understanding of immigration and oppression, promoting Trump's golf links in County Clare in response to its inauguration. And I am done with the so-called strong men who, if they had to live for one day in the shoes of an immigrant, a woman, or a transgender person, would quiver with fear. Anyone who believes in the founding principles of the EU should be appalled by what we witnessed yesterday. I am appalled, so I resist, and Europe must resist, because our history demands it.
In addition to calling for Starmer to be ousted, the Tesla CEO said one of the UK leader's cabinet ministers should be, quote, jailed, to which Starmer responded, Musk is spreading, quote, lies and misinformation, as well as amplifying far-right poison, which I know everybody's thinking, no way, this guy? Surely not.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
I think there is value to a culture, and we don't want Japan to disappear. We don't want Italy as a culture to disappear. We don't want France as a culture to disappear. I think we have to maintain the sort of reasonable cultural identity of the various countries, or they simply will not be those countries. Italy is the people of Italy. The buildings are there, but really, what is Italy? Italy is the people of Italy.
And with this, it seems to lend more substance to a report that Musk isn't too happy about being refused a coveted spot in the White House. Instead, he's been relegated to an office down the block. According to Newsweek, they reported that when Trump signed an executive order establishing DOJ as a temporary agency within the executive office of the president, he told the press that Musk wouldn't get an office close to the Oval Office. Then on Sunday, political analyst Dominic Michael Trippi reported that the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, who Trump has nicknamed, quote, the Ice Maiden, denied Musk access to Trump and a spot in the West Wing, stating Wiles wanted to create a drama-free zone. Right, because a Trump administration is stable, not dramatic at all.
Trump's Ice Maiden Chief of Staff, Susan Wiles, launches a brutal takedown of Elon Musk as she refuses to give him a West Wing office and issues a stark warning over him being a co-president, where they claim they were investing $500 billion into America. Elon Musk said it was all BS. It was phony. It was fraud. They don't even have anywhere close to $500 billion.
Here's the thing, right? As I've said many a times, this was inevitable. When the bromance started, I said it. Look at the track record, folks, of Donald Trump and his past associates. Literally, just roll the tape.
In 2016, you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that.
This
and we had tremendous, look, we had the best economy we've ever had. The world has ever seen.
Your Vice President, Mike Pence, is running against you.
Yeah.
Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again, calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock, and your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Canadian, milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic. We had a great economy. We had phenomenal people in charge of the economy. We had phenomenal people in the military. I'm not a fan of Milley, and I'm not a fan of certain of the television people. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS. They said, Mattis, it would take 3 years, and I don't think we can do it. I did it in a period of like 4 weeks.
There's a lot of people who praise you for your policies. I just said that.
That's true. Well, I mean, you just went through a list. But don't forget, for every one you say, I had 10 that love us.
See, it's all fun and games until someone gets their heart broken.
Watching Elon Musk parade around the world as the new emperor of all, along with his buddy Donald Trump, I am deeply concerned for the next election. In Canada, I think Musk interfering in Germany's elections on the side of the far-right parties that want to play footsie with Nazis and say we don't have to feel guilty about our past on International Day of Holocaust Remembrance. This is pretty offensive stuff. Our solution in the Green Party is we as Canadians and our government should say there's no such thing as a platform. You're a publisher, and Meta and Twitter and X and all of them would have to abide by the jurisprudence of hundreds of years of a publisher's responsibility for what they publish. And the anonymous and rule-free world in which social media operates could end simply and quickly, but of course Parliament would have to be in session, to say, in Canada, we don't recognize something called a platform. You've invented this term for yourselves, so that you can, as profiteering transnational corporations, interfere in our lives and harvest our lives to make money for yourselves, threatening our democracy, threatening our journalism. So you're publishers, and we're not going to censor what you publish, but if someone wants to sue you, you'll be responsible for the words you publish, regardless of whether it comes from a foreign bot or a Canadian citizen. The publisher's responsible for what they publish, and that would really clean up the sewer of social media.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.